mute. Let's try and unmute my speaker, my mic. Hello everyone. Right then, blast from the past. I haven't streamed in about, well, for ages. I streamed very briefly the other day. My first time back in a long time. Right, let's see if we can see what's going on here. Let me just increase the font a bit so everyone can see. That do anything, who knows? Gosh. Let's find our project first of all. So we're working on something called Panda Bridge D&D, which is not Dungeons and Dragons as some may think. It's actually drag and drop. So, okay, let's have a think. Let's whip open code. Let's just get it running and see where we're at. So this is written in React.js. This is the project. Can I zoom a bit more? Let's have a look. Settings. Zoom. 1.5. Does that make it bigger? Just the zoom level of the window. Fine. I think that's a bit bigger. Yeah, good. Right. Let's get this bad boy fired up. So what do? We just run npm start. Let's first of all check out our git status. I will push up my git changes. Ooh, username for GitHub. Let's not bother doing that then, because I don't want to dig that out at the moment. Right, we were in the middle of editing template apparently. Let's just quickly look at what our template looks like. Ah, yes. It's all coming back to me now. It's been a week since I looked at this project, so do bear with. But let's start it up. npm start. Just using React.js, so it has its own, it's kind of packaged with its own little development web server, which is great. Now this is going to open up in my default browser, which is Firefox, which we don't actually want to do because we're using Zoom style, which isn't supported on Firefox. Something to be fixed at some point. So anyway, let's open up a new window in Chrome. Whop that URL in. There we go. So it looks a bit better. So what do we have set up? So on the left we have all the components. On the right we have our kind of canvas area. So on the left we have these components which we can drag on to the canvas. So as for example, we can do that, and we can add a couple of paragraphs in. I think I'll probably change that to like kind of general text so they can add paragraphs in themselves, if that makes sense. So they can add multiple paragraphs in one component without having to drag on a paragraph component for each one. But for the moment, let's leave it as that. And they can add additional things, you know, a columned section, if I can drag it on there. Whoops, there you go. And as you can see there, you know, we can drag and drop things around and we can delete things. So that's where we got to last time, which is very cool. So next we want to do stuff around this edit. I think that's probably the next big thing. So I suppose, yeah, what's left to do? We want to be able to edit these components so we can change the text, type away, and we want to be able to see it kind of change as we type. We want to obviously add a whole new load of components in here so we can just drag them and drop them. So edit is what we're going to look at today. Publish. So the idea, I think, for this initial kind of product, we're just going to have like a, you know, finished publish your changes or something like that, which will spit out kind of compressed HTML. So this tool is basically a super easy kind of idiot's way of creating a single page application. We're going to have components set up for very simple forms for sending kind of emails to yourself or whatever. So You know, as a business user, I can drag on a form, change the fields, say I want it to be sent to my personal or my business email address. When I click publish, that generates that all, and then I can then, you know, host it somewhere. So yeah, so that's the idea. Right, but yes, edit. So currently, I think I've got edit set up so that it just does the same thing as delete, so it's not really doing anything. But what we want to do is we want to kind of create a overlay or a pop-up maybe. I'm not sure what the best is. It's probably like an overlay over on this side. So you click it and it kind of like slides out with a form, and then you type in blah 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 blah, and then yeah, you can save it. So there's a couple of things we were looking at last time. Let me just zoom in a bit. There's a couple of things we were looking at last time, which were, so we've got this template. It's this website here. Gosh. Let's have a look at it, load it up quickly. Which is for dynamic generations of forms, which is kind of what we want. But before we get onto that, we want to create a, how does this work at the moment? So we have this canvas, has everything in the moment. This all needs refactoring because it's all a bit kind of just one big JS file at the moment, which nobody likes. Yeah, so this is the drop component. So on here we have a span, which has this pencil SVG, which is what we're clicking at the moment. We're doing delete item index. But what we actually want to do is maybe do something like toggle edit brackets item.form. Do we have an item? We do. Items here. So this is, so we iterate over, oops, let me bring this up. So when this is on here, we iterate over this. I mean, it's going to error at this point, isn't it? If we hit F12, let me just, oof. Oh. Let's get rid of you. Let's put you here. So toggle edit is not a function. Fine. Let's create a function, which is like the delete item. It's going to be toggle edit form data, maybe. And what I need to do is I think I need to bind .this to it, maybe. Bind .this. So we're spitting out the content from our template. So our templates are here in a big array, and we're just spitting out this, basically this content here, some JSX. But what I want to do is I want to make this kind of dynamic. So like it's like content title or something, you know. Now, how's that going to work? You've asked me. I don't know. We'll come back to that in a minute. we'll figure that out. All in good time. I'm thinking that when we when we drag that component onto the canvas, we have this on drag end, which basically yeah, it moves. Yeah, so it moves it from one list to the other. So the move function, which is all the way up here, basically copies the dragged object, and then inserts it into the destination list. So it kind of clones it in there basically, and it gives it a new ID, which is this. So we could use that ID. So at this point, we could do something around kind of populating, adding to the, oh, what's it called? The, it's like cache or something, not cache. Oh, what does React.js call it? State. So we could add things to the state as part of that move, like pre-populate all these items. So in the state of that component, we have like that new item ID with an array of whatever is in the form. And then we just need to somehow update this template. So it's like, you know, like ID, you know, whatever that is, that needs to be dynamic. Whoops. You know, dot title. And I'm not sure how we do that. So we'll come back to that in a minute. But before we do that, we want to do this toggle. What did we say? Toggle. Toggle whatever it is. Where do we put it? Toggle edit. There we go. Which at the moment, let's do just console.log brackets form data. So let's see how that works. So that's now working. Good. Now if we just do that, it shows us that we have this key. It's an array with content, hello world, default value, hello world. Perfect. It could be that when we drag it onto the form, we kind of run the same function. So I suppose there's two different bits. There's like the population of the interstate of those values and the display of a kind of form to edit those values, if that makes sense. So, okay, fine. So we now got this form data coming through. What are they doing here? So this is just an article that is doing something similar. So they've got this kind of dynamic form content class. So we'll do something similar to that. We'll create a component called dynamic form. So let's do that. Components, new file, dynamic form.js. And then let's just copy this at the moment. Whoops, I can't. Okay, cool. From React. Import React DOM from React DOM, is it? React DOM, that may not, oh no, it does exist. Okay, cool. And then we've got some styles which we're not going to put in at the moment. And then we're going to do export default class dynamic form extends React component. Fine. And then state is an empty object at this point. Fine. And then constructor, what was it? Props, super props. Fine. Goodo. That's that. Okay, we're beginning blah blah blah. State will be created dynamically by using the keys from the model prop. So this is kind of what I was talking about in the other object. So we can actually reuse a lot of this code for our actual draggable component as well. Yeah, fine. Let title equals this props.title or dynamic form. Well, hopefully we'll have that. Or let's call it edit. Call it something else. God, I can't type this morning. Edit component or edit component. Fine. And then what are we doing here? And then we've got this return, and then some JSX, which is, look at this, look how annoying this is. They've put a image down. It's just so people can't copy it, which is really annoying. Dang it. Div class name equals this props.class name, this props.class name. We're going to put an h3 title in. Whoops, close that off. Form class name is dynamic form, was it? I can't remember now. Dynamic form. We'll come back to that in a minute. Right. This is when we need to start paying attention. On submit is equal to, yeah, the event. Let's pass that through to this dot on submit e. This dot on submit brackets e. Cool. This dot render form, which we haven't done yet. So, yeah, that's a function. Cool. And then we have at the bottom a div class name form group button type submit. Fine. Div class name, what was it? Form group. Button type equals submit. Save. Or update maybe. Cool. Right, so we've got a couple of things that we need to add. It's probably going to throw a problem here. Well, so do we want to load this onto our canvas now so we can start testing it? Probably. Let's just put in some of these functions so we've got it. So we'll leave this render form for the moment. Let's come back to that. Let's come back to that. Right, so on submit, if this props.onSubmit, this props on submit, this static. What? Oh, right. No, wait. Now in the parent component, in this case, we can handle this. Oh, right. So this passes it to, okay, yeah, fine. This bubbles it up. So, yeah, on submit equals model. Oh no, sorry, E. And then E dot prevent default, right? U, and it's passing up the state. Okay, so console.log this.state, maybe. Console.log this.state. And then we'll sort that out later. So that covers off that on submit, and then the other thing that we need to do is this render form, which is up here, I think. Yeah, fine. Render form equals bloop, bloop, bloop. There we go. Why isn't it like that? Oh, wait a minute. Used to be like that. Cool. So it's not going to return anything, I think. Let's just return like hello world. I don't know. this is a dynamic form. Good. Right then, so we've got our dynamic form component, which isn't really doing much at the moment. So in Canvas, we've got this toggle edit. So what we're going to do is we're going to load in a, so we've got a row, we've got a droppable like column. If I create a col MD6, like a div, let me think. Let me create it here. We call it, what was it, dynamic form. Oops. Oh, it doesn't like that. Create a dynamic form. Hopefully we'll add it in at the top here somewhere. Good. So it's pulled in the component automatically. What props were we looking for? There was things like class name equals whatever. What else were we looking for? There's the title, but we'll leave that for the moment. And other stuff. Title. Yeah, fine. So we've got title already. Class names, whatever. This dot on submit, which is that, which isn't doing anything. This dot render form, which is fine. Okay, cool. This props dot class name. If I have that empty, let's see if that errors. I don't know. So that should fine. Ret run is not defined. Ooh, I wonder if I've got a typo. I almost did it exactly the same. This is a dynamic form. Update. Perfect. Let's just make this a bit smaller. So we now want to go div class name is equal to, and let's just put this in a container. I'm wondering whether I should put the dynamic form in like a state, and then like reconstruct it on the toggle. I don't know. Right, so col MD6 BG dark. Let's see what that looks like. Beautiful. And then there's like an absolute position, which I can't remember what that looks like. Absolute position, absolute. Now I haven't done this before, so I don't know how that's going to look. Let's have a look. Div root app canvas container fluid row. There we go. So is that because, aha, cool. There we go. So if we give it like a margin, oh sorry, padding, 10 em margin. Or none of that. Well, I suppose the container can just be that position absolute with style z index of 1000, because it doesn't matter, and then we can add in the, because that will always show. Oh gosh, will that always? No, because we'll hide this dynamically, right? So that's fine. So let's add a class name, top z index. Chuck in here. Top z index is z index of, what was it, 1000, something like that. There we go. Let's just refresh that. Did I not save you? There we go. Okay, cool. And now it's up there. Edit component. This is the dynamic form update. So edit component is, yeah. So this is okay. Cool. Perfect. So if I do like this dot state dot dynamic form, and then this state dynamic form is equal to, you know, nothing. Gosh, how do I do this? Like spam? I don't know. Or, yeah, fine. And then on toggle edit, I then go this dot set state brackets curly brace, and then put dynamic form is equal to, and then I can then put this thingy bob in, that thing in. Yeah, yeah. So it replaces it with that. Whoops, I don't want to do that. Huh. There, fine. So now that shouldn't display until we click. So if we go here, and then we click edit. Awesome. So now we've got a form that appears on the edit click. And we've got the form data that we can then start populating into there. This is cool. This is cool. Right. Right, now let's just make this a bit more stylish. So we want to grey out the background. So this will be like full length at some point, like height 100 or whatever. In fact, do we want to do that now? So, so I was just thinking that, so this dark gray area at the moment will be the kind of container object, and then we have the dynamic form within that. So this dark gray area will actually be full height of the page, and then we can then scroll through it or whatever. Is that going to work? I was going to have this as like a margin-y thingy bob in here. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I'll just have it kind of coming out from the left. Sorry. So the dynamic component inside it has like a margin top, left, and bottom of like, I don't know, a couple of EMs. And that has the background on it, and then this has like no background. Yeah, let's do that. So let's have a look. So no dark, we don't want that. And then our dynamic form, we are going to go, I think this works. That did not work. Was it like BG dark? Edit. Ooh, that might not work. Wait a minute. Okay. Ooh, I got this wrong. Oh, yeah. It's not. Sorry, I've been using React Native a lot recently, and you can do this in React Native. You can't do this in React.js. So that's fine. You've just got to do a join. Let me see if I've got join here anywhere. No. Gosh, where do I do it? Here we go. You just add this in. So basically, I've got an array of classes, and I'm just joining it with a space so that when we do that and click edit, it then appears there like that. And you see we've got the margins on that. So let's have a look. So what do we want to do here? So this has got a, what's this got a padding of? Computed 15 pixels, padding right 15 pixels. So here we want to go something like margin right minus 15 pixels, and then we want to go margin, oh wait a minute, margin 1em minus 15 pixels, 1em, 1em. There we go. That's what we want. And then we can put like a drop shadow on it again. So let me just go in here. We're going to go like shadow can be something, and we can also add in, what are we going to do, like dynamic form. Dynamic form. Okay. So dynamic form will have a class called dynamic form. Let's put a quote around that, and it will also have a shadow, a drop shadow. And the drop shadow I have put on canvas at the moment, somewhere, style, gosh, somewhere I've got a drop shadow in here, on the top one actually. Must be this get list style. Here we go, box shadow. Let's just whop that in there, save that, close that. Box shadow. There we go. Edit. And that's got a, has that got a shadow on it? I can't tell. Probably. Maybe. Who knows? Right. Let's just quickly jump over to here. Good. Good. I'm just checking my stream's live, which it is. Happy days. Oh, echo. Let's get rid of that. Right. Cool. Right then. Awesome. So we need to put a padding on this. So what are we using? We're using Bootstrap. So padding 3 should be fine. So boop, boop. There we go. So we've got some padding on it. Perfect. So we can kind of refactor this. The box shadow stuff, let me have a look. So 10 pixels, 6 minus 6. Can't remember. Let me just quickly Google box shadow examples. Because, you know, like, it would be useful. Box shadow CSS generator. Just want like a, I don't know, all around it. It'll be something like shift right, so that 0, shift down, make that 0. Right, so it needs to be 0, 0, and then whatever. So this needs to be 0. Box shadow, exclamation mark. Oh wait, I've got quotes around it, that's why. There we go. Doink. Doink. Now what? Continue like that. Why is that over? Why is that being cancelled? Well, we've got a box shadow. Oh, dot shadow. Oh, have we already got? I'm gonna cough. So we already have one. We already have a shadow. Gosh. Let's take that off. I can't really see a shadow on it, to be honest. Maybe I need to make that like 1. It's not appearing. What's this -6 for? If I change that to like 6 pixels. Okay. Oh. Oh no. Let's make that 0.2. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's kind of better, maybe. You know what? We don't need a shadow right now. Let's get rid of that shadow. Screw it, it doesn't matter. Let's get rid of it. It doesn't matter. We're not using it. It's fine. It's fine. Let's get rid of that. Whoops. Save that. Good. Right. Good. So we've got a form. We've got a form that comes up. Right, now we just need to populate this form. So we are passing in. We can pass in the. So we probably need like a close button on this, but that's fine. I'll come back to that in a minute. Because if we drag in another one, we want it like full width. So if you like click outside it, then like here. Yeah, okay, cool. So if you click outside it or like close it. Fine. I think I'm overcomplicating this. Well, not overcomplicating it, but it's fine. We don't need to worry about it. So, okay, cool. So let's now create the actual form. So in the canvas, we should be passing the form data to it. What are we looking up for in here? So render form. How do we do that? I can't remember now. This props model. So we want to pass it in as a model, do we? Somewhere. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, here we go. Yeah, model, and then we pass in the model, which is an array. So canvas model equals curly brackets form data. Okay. And now here on our render form, we can put in whatever is in down here. So render form, this stuff. So let model equals this dot props dot model, fine. And then yeah, let form UI equals model dot map brackets. So we have like the model element, and then let key, is that key? Yeah, equals m dot key. And I think I've set all of this stuff up already in our template JS. Yeah, we've got key, label, and default value. Let label equals m dot label. Ooh, is that a reserved thing? Anyway. Okay, let type. Let's do that. Type equals m dot type or text. So this is for the input type, which is fine. And then we've got this like props thing as well. So we're just setting the defaults here. So what else have we got then? So we've got label and default value. M.label. And then let value equals, and this is going to be the tricky one, I think. I suppose we can do m.value, m.value, or default value, m.default value. I can't spell. So it just means we've got to populate that. But I suppose if we bind to the parent, it could be that would be m.key.value or something like that. I don't know. We'll come back to that in a minute. Fine, save that. That should be rendering fine. Still good, still working. Good. And now what? And then it's got this return, which is generating this. Good. So let's get rid of that. So he's got div key equals key. Key is equal key. What else? Class name equals. Nope, sorry. Gosh. Form group. That's that. Label equal. Oops. Label. Class name form label. Equals form label. Class name is form label. Whoops. Key is equal to. So he's okay. So he's generating a label plus m.key. Fine. HTML4 m.key. .key. So it's saying it's for the item with the key, and then that's it, and then it's m.label for the actual label. Fine. Good. And then we've got an input. So let's go here and we go input. I can't spell. That's going to be self-closing HTML because that is what inputs are like. And then we put in, right, so ref equals brackets key this m.key equals key. Okay, fine. This square brackets m.key is equal to key. Oh, that has a this has things around it as well. Boop. This I'm not so sure about. I'm not sure what this is doing. Form input. Class name equals form. Fine. Class name equals form input. That's straightforward. Type is equal to m.type, I think. I don't know why he hasn't put type in. Oh no. Yes, no, you're quite right. In fact, I should remove that, and I should remove that, and I should use the key. Shouldn't use M anywhere. Yeah. Oh, this .m.key is equal to key. Oh gosh. Okay. And then key is the same as this, but with an I. For input. And then on change equals brackets event going to this dot on change, this dot on change, e dot m dot key. Oh no, just key. Fine. There we go. So that should be it then. In theory, key is not defined. Dynamic form, line 23. This thing, yes, this. Ooh, hello. It would help if I put this in the right place for a start. Okay. Model. Oh, wait a minute, and then return form UI. Fine. That one. Yep. Try that again. Oop. Content. Hey. This dot on change is not a function. This dot on change is not a function. Did we not add on change? Oh no, I haven't. Have I not? On submit, not on change. Fine. Okay, so what do we need to do for on change? Set state for this component. E hyphen key. This dot set state is equal to and then so you can use dynamic keys, which is interesting. So this brackets key dot value, apparently. It could be that on load we set this. Or bind this maybe to the parent. I don't know. We'll find out. Didn't like that. On submit. E prevent default, surely. Where's my input? Where's my input? It's down here. Button type. Submit update. Am I not doing that right? Oh, on submit up here on the form. Oh yeah, we've got it here. This on submit brackets E. Why is that not working? Who knows? Have a look. Edit. Threw an exception. Whoops. What exception did it throw? Who knows? Oh gosh, how am I going to see that? Damn it. How am I going to stop that from editing? Maybe I can grab it out of the JS somehow, put a breakpoint on it. On submit maybe? Gosh, where does it load it? Who knows? Ah, source, components, screens, components, dynamic form, button, this dot on submit. Yeah. Oop. Okay. Oh, it didn't like that. So what is it saying? E prevent default is not a function. E dot prevent default is not a function. Is it not? Is that better? And then if we just run that, what happens then? Expected missing expression, blah, 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 blah. Line 50 on dynamic form. E prevent. Wait. E dot prevent default. Default is a function. Why is that not coming up then as a... Try that again. E, what is E? Is E null? E synthetic event. E dot E dot prevent default is undefined. Why is that then? Why is that? Uncaught type error. E prevent default is not a function. Wait. Wait. Isn't it lowercase? Yeah. Wow. There we go. Let's run that through. Press that. Good. Boom. Edit. Update. Good. Done. This dot state. So wait, is state not? Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Console. Doesn't have anything in. State doesn't have anything in. Apparently. Oh wait, it's because I haven't put anything in it. That's why. Console. There we go. Content ASD. There we go. So we've now got a form that we can type in and go ding 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 ding, and then that should then do stuff. Now, I think in reality, we don't want all this update stuff. It will happen dynamically. So you just start typing, and it would populate into this canvas section on the right as you type. Now the hello world stuff. Okay, yeah, no, hello world is oh wait. So input ref key this m dot key key. This m dot key. Let me just mute my phone. Yeah. So that's just referring to what it is, fine. But the value hasn't been set. Value should come from here. That value is a value. Okay, fine. So so we need, there's a couple of things. I mean, you can do value equals value, right? Which now comes up as hello world, and we can change this to anything. I want to improve the style of this form because it looks horrendous at the moment. Not cool. So let's do that. So bootstraps. Let's check out, let's search for form. So we could do it like this. Form group, label input, form control. Form group, class name, form group, label. Just get rid of that, we don't need it. Form group, label, input, class name, form control. Bit like that? I can't remember. Yes. And then, right, fine. So now if we go edit, what does it look like? Good? Well, kind of good. What's going on there then with this input? Why is it so massive? Width 100%, and this is display block. Why are you so big? Computed width. Styles. Is it the input that's got a weird width on it? What you doing to me? Width 100%. Width 100% display block. Padding. So that should be... Wait a minute, do I need to do something with the form? Let's have a look. No. If I remove... Whoops. If I remove this class... okay, so dynamic form is messing it up. Fine. We don't need that. Get rid of that. Don't need that. Oh, wait a minute. Is there something in here then? Dynamic form margin. Okay. We'll put that on a surrounding div. How about that? In my here. So div. That's here. Yeah, why is it on here? I don't know. Oh, anyway. So pink. There we go. That's fine. Label is a bit weird. This is a bit weird. Let's take off that. Let's make this BG light for the moment. Pink. Fine. No. This is BG secondary, I think. Fine. Kind of want it light. Dynamic form. Dynamic. Is this? No, it's fine. So dot dynamic form. Border 1 pixel solid red. Like that then. Is that inside? Do we want to put that on there? Yes. Okay, cool. So BG. What are cards that? Yeah, no, fine. BG light dynamic form. Let's give it a blah 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 blah. What have we got on our canvas? We've got a border like that. Oops. Okay. Fine. And we can, yeah, that's fine. Fine, cool. We want to do something like text align. Text align left. Very good. The label is looking a bit weird. Label. Why are you? Maybe it is like that by default. Just looks a bit strange, like size wise. Maybe it's right. So maybe we should change that to title. Anyway, that's looking a bit better. And then, okay, cool. So we've now got the dynamic form coming from the component, and we now need to set the value to state value, I think. Yep. So on okay. So this is going to be the tricky bit, I think. What is it going to be tricky? So we need to, on update, we want to now save that to the state, and we want to then render that there. Fine. Okay, cool. Which we've already got here. So we've got this on submit thing. So we've got on submit in app.js, and we pass that on submit function through, I think, to the. So I don't know if we've got one here yet. No. But this dynamic form has a on submit equals. I'm pretty sure it has an on submit thing. Look. Yeah. What's this? Yeah. Model, this on submit model. On submit brackets model, I guess. And then cool. And then yeah, see, yeah, so it's pushing it straight into date. So oh, interesting. So the model, what is the model? Here we go. Model.id equals plus new date. Interesting. So I wonder what it spits out. So setting it into here. Data hyphen model. Data. It's okay. So the only thing I'm kind of okay. Let's just do alert that thing. Alert JSON string find model. I created a on submit yet. On submit equals brackets model brackets alert brackets was it JSON dot stringify brackets model. Okay. Let's see what that does. So edit the value. Why can't I change that? Interesting. It's set to state and I'm resetting the state. Oh gosh. Could be default value maybe. So my name is Chris. Update comes to here, but is not calling the on submit. Now, are we passing the on submit through? No, we're not. We're just printing it out here. Fine. So it's this thing. If this props, if brackets this dot props dot on submit set, then this props dot on submit this dot state. Fine. So we're passing it up to the. We're passing the state up, so the state is being passed back up to the thingy-bob. Fine. Cool. Very good. And my name is Chris. Update content. My name is Chris. So, and then. So the only thing I want to do is I want to change the key of that in the parent, I'm guessing. Okay. So let's have a look. Dynamic form. Nope. canvas even. So at this point, this is the state. So the on submit though, where do we define the on submit? Gosh, up here. If we do this dot key, this, do we have this dot ID? Toggle edit. Toggle edit. We need to do like item dot ID, and yeah, fine. Then on submit, you can do component ID, form data, and then we can use on submit here. We can do component ID like that. Good. And then, whoops. And then on submit, which is all the way down here, we have component ID model, and then we want to go model equals model.map, or model.map brackets I, oops, brackets I, which goes to here, and then we can go this dot set state brackets curly brace, and then we can do component ID plus I dot, oh gosh, how do we do key? Yeah. Equals I dot value. Or we could do, wait a minute, so we could do well, yeah, so that's just pushing it straight back into the state, this dot set state, which should be fine. And we can alert that as well, so we can do alert, well, and then we can just go this dot state, alert this, oops, JSON stringify this dot state, maybe. We'll see what happens. Let's go, hello. Oh, model.map is not a function. Well, that's not good. What am I doing wrong? An object, isn't it? I'm getting an object back. Oh, yeah, it's an object, so I can't iterate over it. Gosh, JS iterate over object keys, or object key value. But for key in P, his own property. There we go. So on submit. No, wait. Canvas. Here we go. If P has property console key and P, so this does set state goes here, where key is equal to key and P is equal to P, and then we can go get rid of you, get rid of you. Yep. P is not defined. Key in model. Model has property. Oh gosh. For var key in model, model has property key set state. Oh wait a minute. How do I get P bracket? Fine. Model brackets key. There we go. Gosh. Right. Now then, you should have a content or a. Well, that kind of worked, but Localhost says this seems to be all the form. Oh, wait a minute. Is this just going on and on and on? Okay. Okay. So now how do we express that? So how do we then load that in, gosh. So if I do, oh gosh. I mean, I could just do console.log here, console.log brackets, component plus key plus quote space plus model brackets key. So this is what's getting added to the state. So think. Yeah, fine. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So we're now adding that in, but how do we set that initially? That's the question. So what are we doing? So we're iterating in Canvas. We iterate over map items. Items is set. Let's state items. Where's items being set? Get items. Get items. So we're pushing. We're returning template. Oh, we can get rid of that. Using that. Fine. So we've got items at this point in here. Should it be under, oh gosh, should it be like items dot key dot object? Selected dot key dot object. So I suppose my question is, I've got a couple of questions. My question is, how do I from here go something like, whoops, like key plus, or like ID plus, you know, content. Okay. ID is not defined and content is not defined. Can I put content here? Call it hello world. Oh no, sorry, that comes there. Let's call this, let's give this a better thing, form content. Form content. Oops. Form, oh gosh, why are you not working? Form content. Form content is not defined. Well, that isn't necessarily a problem. So we just need to, when we load it, we need to push into state. the iterate through the form object here, and for every key, put in a key and value. What time is it? 10:46. So fine. So let's do, well, no, sorry, let's undo that. Let's do this dot ID plus form content. Plus the key form content. Yeah. Save. Cannot read ID of undefined. So this cannot read ID of undefined. ID is not defined. I just do that. Yeah, fine. That's quite right. No, no. Can I do something like form? Oops. Form brackets. Right, no. Gosh, 0 brackets. Default value. Form is not defined. And I presume in Canvas, if I do let form equal the like where is it? Let form form. I won't wait. Doesn't like anyway. Won't work. Form isn't defined still. Template.js. Interesting. Can I set? This is a bit of a scupper to our plans. So we've got the value being set into state, but we can't, our template, the way we've done the templates anyway at the moment in a separate file. I mean, I could put the templates in the, could put the templates straight into the canvas object. Let's try that. So canvas object. Gosh. So this get items thing, which returns the templates. Get items. Turn templates. Let's just get rid of view. Templates is not defined. Get rid of view. Put you down here. Get items is not defined. Why is get items not defined? This dot get items then. Templates is not defined. Templates is right there. Just like return that. Form is undefined. Okay, yeah, but I can do like this dot state. Or wait a minute, the dot get items, what I could do is I could iterate dynamic JSX. Oh gosh. Dynamic JSX. Oh well, wait a minute. Am I being dumb? Like the content, like can I do like the value is equal to something here? Gosh. Let's just undo this for the moment. Let's just undo this for the moment. Come on. Get rid of that. Fine. Get items, returns templates. Templates come from here. Templates is in here. We're going to just remove that for the moment and put in hello world. So that should work, right? Click edit. We can put in Chris is awesome. Click update. And it gets chucked into the status as that. Chris is awesome. Right, cool. I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So we've got this dynamic form component, which is great. We need to work on the control a bit so that we can like open it and close it and stuff. But like for example, if I do that and then do that, probably error. Yeah, I don't have anything set up yet for that one. In terms of the form, it's just not constructed. I think what I need to do is I need to figure out. I need to set the state on the canvas to those IDs. ID value stuff. So basically iterate through the form, add all those values into the state of the parent, and then somehow set that in that JSX, which I'm not so sure about. So I don't know how to set this dynamically. Like, you know, because I want this to be like, you know, dynamic value in the state. But I think because this is coming from this, well, it's an array of objects, but still it's kind of trying to render it at this point. So this should be like a kind of key there, but like, you know, so I don't know. I don't know. Unless we have this as like a function. Like a function that we pass in like a key, and then we go key dot, you know, key plus content, key plus content, like that. Like that. I don't know how that works. That probably still has a horrible thing. Functions are not valid as React child. Yeah, so I might have to change this whole thing on how we kind of put in our components, which is not a problem. It's just at the moment it's nice having it as a kind of like an array, unless, you know, unless this is a string. Unless this is a string and I have something in here, I have like a, you know, let's just do it like that. Go boop. Whoops. Sorry. That. There we go. And then I do something that says iterate through, you know, and change this to form content. Can't spell. And then what I do is I say, when we load in that content, convert it to JSX and replace out this thing for the ID thing, and kind of construct it dynamically at runtime, which is probably the best way of doing it, maybe, because then our content's still in there. The only thing is, it's nice it's nice having, you know, this, because it gives you kind of, from a developer point of view, it kind of gives you, tells you what to do, what things to put in. Anyway, that's it from me to today. So we did quite well, you know, it's not perfect. Let's get rid of that. We did what we said we would do, which was we did the config section, which is good. We're just not getting it back into here yet, so that will have to be next Wednesday. So we're adding that stuff to the state, which is good in the parent content. We're just not displaying it. So the other thing that I want to do is I kind of want to make this like changeable at runtime. Sorry, as you type. So as you type, it will automatically update the state and then push it into there, which is fine. Should be nice. I might get rid of the edit component. I don't know. Okay, so I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.